Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to the first out of the 2 Halloween special playthroughs I want to work on today. I actually plan on doing 2 short projects, somehow related not to Halloween itself, but you know, a spooky video game type of thing. And the first one is something that probably many of you actually expected. I did a live stream on the original Splatterhouse for the arcade last year, actually beating the game legitimately. This time you will notice I'm warning you beforehand that I'm doing cheats. What cheats? Infinite energy basically, and infinite lives as a consequence basically. When you die anyway, you continue from a checkpoint, and that's what I did last year. I actually decided to take the challenge of playing the original Splatterhouse. It took me a while, especially some bosses that were very annoying. But I'll try to do my best in order to avoid getting killed. I mean, not killed, because I will never get killed afterwards. But I'll do my best in order to get hit as few amount of times as possible. But you will pretty much tell that the first levels are not really that difficult to do or to go through. Especially a couple of bosses that you can actually tell the patterns pretty much easily. This is basically the first boss, a bunch of these little mouths. I don't know, it's impossible to describe some of these enemies here. Little monsters, all of them. But yeah, you can pretty much tell where these little pieces of shit are going to jump from, so you can anticipate a move and punch them or kick them beforehand. It's difficult actually to not to get hit at all. The problem is, if you get hit once, you have the tendency to keep getting hit by the other enemies around. That was the first stage. As you know, this original Splatterhouse didn't come out on important consoles. The only home port I am aware of is the TurboGrafx-16 one, that you can also play it on your virtual console in case you have the Wii. But it's not the same. Clearly the arcade version is way better, but I'm not saying the TurboGrafx-16 version is a piece of shit. Actually plays pretty well, but the graphics of course and other features are not exactly the same as the arcade. So this is definitely the version to play when it comes to the original Splatterhouse, at least. Kind of funny using this cleaver. Actually sounds like you are using a baseball bat or something like that. And here we are in the sewers apparently. Here you have to press up in order to get the stick, and you kill the water creatures. This section is pretty easy, and you also have to do some Mario, as you can tell. Making some jumps and shit. And the music is actually getting faster. It's kind of, I don't know, catchy. No, the music is... I cannot say it's good because probably it's not, objectively speaking. But the sounds of the game in general are kind of catchy. Or funny to listen to, I don't know how to put it. Okay, here we have the second boss, which isn't actually a boss, it's just a bunch of enemies. Furniture basically attacking you. First of all, you have to avoid those candles and those like cans that are falling. And then you have to fight Mr. Chair first. It takes 3 or 4 of these hits. Actually remember, it took less. But then you have to deal with the knives. Then 2 knives. Alright, the knives actually take 3 hits each. Try to make them come together in order to not to deal with every single one of them individually. And the actual sort of boss of the level, as you can tell, is the picture, which is pretty easy if you hit it constantly. And then you have to avoid the candelabra or whatever it is called, this thing, because it does hit you. now we are going outside, something I never do in real life. Right here in the game. It's the first time in the game you actually get a shotgun. But it's preferable to save it for, I don't know, later on, because there are a shitload of enemies out there. So in the meantime you can start just ducking and kicking. That's enough for killing some of these enemies. But sometimes if you need range, you can just use the shotgun. These things actually don't kill you, they take you down there. You have to do an extra room. And I wanted to throw the rock and I ended up getting trapped by those hands. So yeah, you have to do an extra room. I mean, sometimes it is an extra room, but some other times it's basically an alternative kind of route in order to get past the same area. But you are not going to die or lose a life or lose energy by falling on these little holes. And here we are dealing again with these water creatures, which are actually hard to deal with if you don't have a stick or some other weapon. So it is preferable to make some sort of jump attack in order to take them out without getting hit. So yeah, now we continue with this. Actually getting kind of close to the boss, which is probably the first actual boss of the game. It's not really easy to deal with, you will see why. And now you take the shotgun, you have to save it for the boss battle. Some people, I mean, I used to start just shooting at the guy, but try to hit him with your own fists as many times as you can, and when you feel you are pretty much close to dying because he's gonna hit you anyway, you can use the shotgun. Of course now I'm taking advantage because I'm using a cheat. But that's basically what I ended up doing when I did my legend run on the livestream last year. We're gonna do a 4th stage on this video. I wanna do the other 3 stages, 7 in total. Spoilers, but you know, this is a classic, I don't need to spoil anything. I'll be doing that in the next video. And I failed on purpose. Basically to tell you that you don't die by falling. I actually ended up in a very difficult area. You have to deal with the same creatures you had to fight in the first sort of boss of this game. As I said before, if you're able to see where these things are going to jump from and punch that area beforehand, before they actually jump out of these things, you can actually get it without getting hit. But again, you have to be very careful, because if you get hit once, these things are going to get, you know, stuck on your feet, making you take even more hits. It's kind of complicated sometimes. And now we're back to this area. You apparently come out of this door. That's what I just supposing. And you have to do some platforming, some Mario right here. You have to avoid this blade, as you can tell. There are actually one safe spot, as you can tell right there. So you have to be just careful and try to calculate it as well as you can. It's not that hard. I mean, I think it gets more tedious now because you have less space, you will tell. You have to be constantly jumping. It just got hit, as you can tell. Oh, that was weird. I actually made the jump. Probably got stuck because when you are close to the exit door, the game doesn't respawn and goes through the door on its own. So probably that ended up getting me hit. And in this room you actually have to find your own clone. Usually have trouble with this guy. I mean, normally I get hit by him every time at least once. I tried to make a jump attack, but even so I get hit. Part of business, brother, you know. See, I tried to keep some distance and hit him at the precise time, but even so he made a fucking Mega Man slide. I don't know how to do it, to be honest. I don't even know if you can actually do this on your own. It's probably just an ability for that particular enemy. And now the game is moving on its own. I'm not just getting stuck for the hell of it. It's doing that on its own. And now we're in a church. This is where we are going to be fighting this next boss. As you can tell, the boss is actually the cross itself. But of course you have to punch and deal with the the faces are gonna be flying and attacking you through the air. It's gonna be a very useful weapon right here, for the sake of range, if you will. It has a little bit more range than your regular fist, I believe. Yeah, attacking the boss isn't just enough. You have to pay attention to your back. They attack you from everywhere. And sometimes it's difficult just to avoid all of these attacks, even if you try to duck or jump. And I made it. I hit on the cross. That's why I ended up winning. Even our protagonist has a little bit of time for his prayers, I suppose. Something is happening back there. We will figure that out next time.